Check this out. G'day, so it's time to give you a bit of an update on the boat. The boat is actually in at the stainless workshop at the moment, getting the rails and the bimini done and a few other little bobs and sods. But in the meantime, Alan's unloaded all of this stuff on me here. Just to give everyone a bit of a rundown of what actually goes into a boat. You know, you get a price for a boat and you think, yeah, that's the price for overall stuff, but when you add up all the little bits and pieces and everything that goes into it, there's actually a lot more involved than just a boat and a motor, which is what you know, originally, I suppose it's what you look at when you see the overall package. You just really care about the boat and the motor, but there's actually a lot of little bits and pieces that go into a boat. So this is sort of part of what goes into it. There's still other stuff as well, but I'll give you a bit of a look, and we'll just run through, before we start fitting up the boat, I'll just give you a bit of a run through of some of the stuff that actually goes in. So Zane's here giving us a bit of a hand. So first up, let's start with the seat, Zane, so you can sit back down. Obviously there's two seats. No, hop out.
Salty, get up the seat.
Obviously there's two seats. We can only fit one in the car. So here's the seats here. It's got the fold up bolster, so when you're standing up you can fold that back and have something to lean against, or when you're sitting down that folds back down. So these are pretty comfortable. There's two of these coming. These are going on pedestals in the boat. They're fiberglass pedestals. We'll show you those when we get around to putting them in. But these seats, obviously both of these seats go on a slide with a rotator on it, so the seats can swivel around. So there's two of those, one for each seat, obviously. Bits and pieces like your act float, your deck wash, always important. I always use a deck wash on my boat now that I've got it. Use it really often, so deck wash is very important for me. Getting those snapper scales and the blood off the deck, always really handy. A couple of stainless rod holders. These are just adjustable rod holders that are going on a rail up near the front there somewhere. So your stereo, got a Fusion stereo. You can go crazy on stereos. I haven't, as all YouTubers will be aware, you can't play music in YouTube videos because you get done copyrighted anyway. So while we're fishing, we very rarely have music playing. Stereo, this is just basically for when we're traveling. Have a bit of music for when we're traveling. I'm sure it'll be plenty loud enough. I'm not into having a big doof on the boat really, so I'm sure that'll be more than adequate for what we are. It's all Bluetoothable from your phone and whatever else, Fusion, so it's pretty decent. What have we got there? We got the 27 meg radio, also very important. I'm having 27 meg. You'll probably see there's two aerials here and two bases. Also getting UHF in my boat because we plan on traveling a lot further than what we have been, and probably doing a bit more remote stuff with this boat. So the UHF is obviously a bit more important than the 27 meg. So there's two aerials, two bases. Fuel filter with water separator, very important. Every boat should have one of these. You just can't stop condensation getting in your fuel tank. It's almost impossible. So having one of these is essential. You can see when the water's building up, you can drain it. The filter obviously speaks for itself what that's all about. Bait table, we got a really nice bait table here. You can move that, Zane. Yep. This light bar is not the actual one going on the boat. I've got a smaller one. I bought this one, but it's too big. I'll probably stick that on my car, but we've got another light bar that's going on the boat as well. But here's my bait table. This one's actually got 4 rod holders around the outside of the bait table. For me, I like my bait table to actually be mounted kind of low. A lot of boats, I don't know, they trend to have the bait tables way up in the air. I know people like them sort of at a chest height where they're easy to work on. I prefer mine to be low. Just makes it easier to cast over the top of it, work around it. I'm not too worried about bending down, but anyway, that's all part of the deal that will work out when it comes time for mounting that. So we've got 2 bilge pumps. Both of these bilge pumps have got automatic float systems in them. So one bilge pump goes in the hull of the boat, the other one goes in the pod itself, so it takes on any water at all. The automatic float system turns on the bilge and it automatically pumps out. So obviously the bilge pump requires bits of hose and these stainless fittings to pump the water out of. You know, everything like these little bits and bobs like this, stainless stuff, price of this sort of stuff is quite exorbitant really, and it soon adds up when you start putting it all in there. So we've got 2 bilge pumps, obviously your safety equipment, you need your EPIRB, your fire extinguisher, your flares. We're getting all, I'm getting all new life jackets on this boat. I've got inflatable gas canister ones in my boat presently, but we're going to be getting all new life jackets in the new boat. If I'm starting from scratch, I'm going to start from scratch and go for it. So your switch panel, obviously this goes in your dashboard to do all your wiring up to. Oh, and while I'm speaking about wiring, where's those bits of wire gone? So here we go. So all the wiring we're going to be using is all tin coated wiring in this boat. It costs a little bit extra, but copper, I don't know if any of you guys have ever seen copper wiring in when it gets touched as the salt water and it goes green and starts to corrode and gets a bit ugly real quick. So we're going with tin coated wire in this boat. Like I say, it costs a little bit extra, but I think it's worthwhile in the long run. If it stops you having to rewire your boat later down the track, tin coated wire. There's over 50 meters of wire goes into this boat, I'm told. And another thing which Alan was speaking to me about yesterday, which I never really thought about, is they never solder any wires in the boat. They crimp everything. Reason being is the solder obviously contains lots of different compounds of metal. You got your tin coating here, you've got whatever you're soldering to. You could have up to 4 or 5 different compounds of metal all joining together when you solder. And as you know, different metals together, put a bit of salt water and a bit of electricity together, it just promotes corrosion really fast. So all of the wires will be crimped and not soldered. So that's something I learnt yesterday. So I hadn't really considered that, but there you go. So they'll all be crimped and not soldered. So that's your wiring. Obviously with the wiring you need a fuse box. So there's your fuse box there. That'll go with the switch panel. I'm pretty sure all these switches are fused anyway, but that's a separate fuse box to go with it. You got your battery switch side to side, because we'll be running a 2 battery system. There's the 2 battery trays over there. Got the 2 batteries. One thing I learned a long time ago with battery switches, never run your battery switch on both. A long time ago now, I had my battery switch on both, thinking, yeah, that'll charge both at the same time and both batteries will be started in the motor. One of the batteries dropped the cell and dropped the cell, and then it sucked all the charge out of the second battery, and I was stuck out at sea with no battery. So from now on, or from that minute onwards, I always ran it either on one or the other. So what I tend to do is I'll run out on one battery, so I know that's all charged up because I've just run out on it. Then I'll switch over to the second battery while we're fishing. So all my lights, my sound, everything are running off the second battery, and that's the one I'll start off, and I'll run back in on the second battery, so that gets a charge on the way back in. And then you know you've always got one battery fully charged, ready to go. I also charge my batteries probably once a month. I put them on a trickle charger and just top them all up probably once a month, sometimes more often. Just trickle charge them so I know they're always fully charged up. You don't want to be caught at sea without any power, flat battery. It's a long way out. I've actually pull started my 115 before. It wasn't easy, and I'm thinking with the new 4 strokes, it's basically impossible. You're not going to be able to pull start them. I was just lucky I managed to wrap a rope around the flywheel and give it a good old yank and got it going. We got cup holders. We got 3 cup holders. These ones have actually even got a light in them. Let's see if I can get it open. So it's got an LED light inside the cup holder. That's a bit fancy. As long as it holds a carton of iced coffee, it will be sweet. So we've got 3 stainless steel cup holders. They'll go on the dashboard, no doubt. We're getting a couple of these. These are 12 volt chargers. One in the cabin, so that's a cigarette lighter, and these are double USB ports. There's going to be a couple of these around the boat, one in the glove box, one in the cabin, possibly 2 in the cabin, so we can charge up the things like drones, GoPro batteries, phones, whatever. So there'll be a few of these around this boat. Glove box, here's my glove box. So this will be in the dashboard, the glove box. There's going to be a USB charge actually in the glove box, so you can plug your phones and stuff in the glove box, and they'll be able to stay in there nice and dry and safe while you're traveling. You don't have to worry about losing it or dropping it on the floor or anything like that. What's that? That's like a coupling. I think that goes in the back of the transom for the wiring and so forth to run to the outboard. So then you got other things like this stand here, whatever that is. Oh no, that's the fuel sender. So that's the sender unit for the fuel tank. And down here somewhere I saw the fuel filler. There it is there. There's your fuel filler. Again, stainless stuff that, you know, odds and sods. We've got a lot of hinges down here. Apparently there's over 20 odd hinges go into one of these boats. The hinges, we've got hatches here. 2 hatches here. We've got the window. This is the window that goes in the front of the boat. So that'll screw in the front. That's actually perspex underneath there. You can't really see it. I don't want to break it. I'm not going to unbox it all now. This is the anchor. I'm pretty sure they call this a fair lead. This goes at the front of the boat for the anchor. I'm actually installing a winch on this boat. So this is pretty important. This will go up the front, and we'll have the winch. We'll be running the rope over the top of that. Bollards. These are pop down bollards for the back. These ones will pop up and pop down for ropes, for tying off, so forth. Also you got your you know, your stainless tie downs for the back, which is another thing that Alan's thought of before time. Ratchet straps to ratchet strap the boat down. So 2 of these in the back corner to hold the back of the boat down when it's on the trailer. Very important. If your winch fails or anything at the front fails, you've still got ratchet straps holding the back of your boat down to the trailer, which is important. Nav lights. Obviously you got your red and your green nav light, your 360 degree white light goes in there. This is a cabin light. There's another blue cabin light. We're also going to have LED lights around the bottom of the boat, around the bottom of the inside the cockpit there for fishing at night time. You guys, we do a lot of night fishing. We've also got some work lights which will be going up on the targa bar to shine down, to give us a bit more light when we're filming at night. We normally struggle to film at night and use a sort of a handheld LED light to film with at night. So this might make it a whole lot easier with the proper deck lights up on the top there. So that'll be really cool. What else have I forgotten here? Obviously your bits of stainless steel, bobs and sods. The breather for the fuel tank, and
The Simrad?
pretty much, and then the Simrad.
The best.
So I've gone with the Simrad. We've got the GO12. I went with the GO12. I'm more than happy with this. We're going with a 3-hole transducer instead of the normal back transducer. To step it up was going to be an extra $3 grand. At the end of the day, it came to budget. I'm more than happy with this. It's got side scan. It's going to do more than what I need it to do. We mostly concentrate on the shallow stuff anyway, and I just couldn't justify the extra money to step up to the next one, which is the Evo 3, I think, Simrad. It was a big step up in money. I know it's a big step up in power as well, but we don't do a whole lot of deep water sort of stuff, and this is going to be more than enough to do what we need it to do. So there's a Simrad. I'm pretty excited about that. We obviously got to get the charts. We have to get the Navionics charts to suit that. But yeah, that's going to be pretty cool. Should be a bit of a game changer for our inshore shallow stuff. Like, we'll be able to see stuff on that we haven't been seeing previously, that we've been driving straight over. So there you go. That's a pretty basic rundown. This is only some of the stuff. There's a whole lot more stuff obviously that goes into a boat, but this was, like I say, just a bit of a rundown to show you guys how much stuff actually goes into one of these boats. It's like I say, when you think of the overall package, you don't really consider all the little bits and pieces. This is not even taken into account all the stainless nuts and bolts and screws and everything that'll be getting used over the course of the build as well. So there's actually quite a bit that goes into it, and you know, it's all time consuming to put it all together. So hopefully this week the boat will be back. Supposedly Monday the boat comes back from the stainless place straight off to the windscreen shop to get the windscreen fitted, and when it comes back from the windscreen shop, all of this stuff will start to get fitted, and I'll be filming that as we start to putting it all together. And I'm going to give Alan a GoPro in the shop there, so you can film bits and pieces as they build during the day, and I'll run through all that, and we'll actually put a few more videos together as the boat's getting built. So there you go, guys.
There's one thing you forgot.
What's that?
The most important thing, the bungs.
The bungs. Where's the bungs?
Right there. See?
Well,
It's always
well, there you go. You know what, Zane, you are dead right. Without these little babies, the boat ain't going to float. So you're very right. That is the most important thing, the bungs. Thanks for remembering the bungs, Zane. Anyone wants to hire Zane, He's obviously going to be very handy, because if you say you haven't forgotten the bungs, you're a liar, because I think every skipper I know has forgotten the bungs at one stage or another. And geez, they fill up a lot quicker than they empty out. Let me tell you, I've done it once and the boat filled up so quick, it was frightening. And then I pulled it out. Luckily I was still at the ramp when I realised, pulled it out, and it took nearly 20 minutes to empty it out. And yeah, I'm buggered how I know how 5 minutes of being in the water, let in that much water, that took 20 minutes to empty. But there you go. Very important, the bungs. Well spotted, Zane.
Bungs.
Anyway guys, if you like our stuff, stay tuned. I'm out fishing this afternoon with Jack, so I'm going to pack all this stuff back in the car. I'm going to hook the boat up and I'm out this afternoon. And we'll see you in the next episode. Thanks for watching.